Welcome to In the Background of Life with Kelly Ramsey, the podcast that invites you to sit down in a cozy living space, sipping a cup of tea while we embark on a captivating journey about our intentional narratives in our lives. I'm Kelly Ramsey, and this podcast is your warm space to unravel the stories woven into everyday moments. It's a tapestry crafted with intention and purpose. So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's explore the unnoticed details that contribute to the intentional design of the world around us. Together, we'll celebrate the beauty in the threads that make life extraordinary. Well, welcome in. I am so excited to be with you today to record our first podcast. And I have to tell you, the first month of January has been a very nice, slow move into the year 2024. And we're going to start there because I want to give you the picture of what it means to move through life with intention. Intention is something that we set when we focus on what our goals are, what we want to accomplish, and then we start with little action steps to move us forward into those areas. So I'm going to start off by sharing with you my intention for January and how I started the year, and then we'll move into February and what slow movement means and how we go forward in it. So when January hits, January 1, we're not really starting afresh or anew, but we're resetting and we're pausing as we resume life. So 2023 has ended, 2024 is moving forward, and we're resuming our lives. Some things we want to resume, we want to keep going because those intentions have been set and they're producing what we want. Other things we're like, I think I want to reconsider that specific area or intention. So for me, January has been slow moving in that I'm still reviewing what happened in 2023 that I want to carry forward. And I'm reviewing how am I feeling about life in general and how we move in progress forward. On social media, you might see pictures of everyday life. You might see me prepping some things as well. But the reality that in the background, I'm thinking, I'm journaling, I'm reflecting, and I'm being sure that I'm moving in the right direction as we set off. So January has been a slow moving month where I reestablished my routines, my morning habits of writing and journaling, and really sitting and pondering the day ahead as we move forward. In my morning routine, I try to first honor God in what I'm doing. And starting with my morning routine is just seeking Him for what's the plan for the day. And then I move into my personal journaling using a 5-point journaling method with LaQuisha Hall that I write about my gratitude, what I'm pondering, a scripture for the day, as well as reflecting on how I want to affirm myself. So I have an affirmation and I also have a quote. As I started doing this morning routine, I completed all 31 days. Hooray, congrats for me, because I set it as a practice first thing in the morning, and then we moved through it as we continued the day. When I think about that, I think about the slow movements that we can create in our day that's so busy with so many things. A friend asked me, how do you slow down? Kelly, you have such intention and you slow down. And so she asked me to create a specific list of ways that we can slow down. For me, the journaling is one of those ways, like writing down a thought rather than going directly to email someone or to call someone. So I may jot down a note, hey, make sure I check in with Bridget. I want to know how she's doing, and I want to be intentional about setting lunch every day. So I've already formed the thought. I've jotted my note on my notepad. In my journaling time, I remind myself of what gratitude I have for friendship. And then I send the email, send the text, and make the contact. Just those simple pauses before moving into an activity sets an intention so that we stay focused on what we want to do. Pausing to reflect on something, pausing to consider how maybe I can respond to something that's not easy to respond to, and just pausing and taking the time to gather our thoughts. It's like sitting in a room, waiting for your turn to share an idea, and you've thought through the idea, you pause, your hands come together, and then you take a deep breath, and then you share your idea. That pause is intentional, and that's how we set it forward. The other thing that I use in my daily work, a slow movement, is I'll get a sand timer, usually for about 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes, I'll flip it over and I'll dedicate that 15 minutes to checking email, sitting quietly, reading a book, whatever the intention is. And then once it's done and the timer is finished, then I proceed with my day and what's next. So the act of flipping over the timer, knowing you're going to focus for 15 minutes, helps you to focus a little bit better. So slow movement can be also just connecting with your breath. And so lately I've been doing a Somatic Wellness class, and it's really helped me to recognize how quickly I can catch my breath, do some breath work, regain my focus, and then move into my day. Instead of just sitting through pain and anguish and worry, I will use that to focus myself, move through it, and then take one step at a time. So that's really what it's about. It's about taking one step at a time. And so I invite you, as you're coming into the month of February, to think about what routine could you use to anchor yourself as you move through your day. And then turn that task into an everyday ritual. So journaling is my routine. And so here's what that ritual looks like. I have my journals in an acrylic box. I slowly open it, pull out the journal I'm using for the day. I have my pens on my desk. I decide what color I'm going to use for my pens. I write my 5 points, the gratitude, pondering, scripture, quote, and affirmation. I write the titles, and then I sit and think about what do I want to put in those spaces. So luckily, LaQuisha Hall has given me 3 of those. So I use those prompts, and then I continue with the gratitude and pondering as I move into my day. After I finish that process, I read back through what I've written to let it really resonate with where I am. And then it stays in my mind as I'm moving through my day with my intention. I close the journal, put it back in my cabinet, and then I continue on with my day. So by setting up that daily routine, I've created a ritual that I come back to every single morning. And as we're writing each morning, new things emerge, but it's the simplicity of that daily routine that helps me to stay with it and keep it in. And it also slows the movement of the day. So have you ever woken up jarred, running late, and you're like, I got to rush through all of these things and I can't do what I normally do because I got to get out of the house. I'm running late. What if you instead paused, still took the 5 minutes to write down your journaling, set your mind and intention, and then proceed in your day? What would your day look like then? So that's what it means to have intention of a slow moving morning or slow movement and building it into your day. Here's the other thing. There's no one on social media taking pictures of slow movements. So what if you posted a picture of what your slow movement for the day looks like? In February, I'm joining Azari Jarrett for a simple photography prompt every morning. So I get up, I read the prompt for the day, and I think about it throughout the day. And yesterday's prompt was grateful. And so I found a picture that I could take that showed something I was grateful for. And that grateful moment was about slow movement, stopping time to have coffee or tea, looking out the window, gazing at what was going around, and just doing it very, very simply. Now, in my ideal world, I'm sitting there all day chatting with my friend and I'm able to spend hours alone, right? But that's not ideal. So I had 15 minutes, about 20 minutes. So instead of just rushing through and it's like, I don't have enough time to do it, I actually did have enough time. So I sat drinking my lavender latte at All About You and had that wonderful moment. It was only 20 minutes. Then I got in my car and then I went and proceeded with my day. That's all it took was 20 minutes. Because it was my intention, I made it happen and we were able to do it. So that's what we're here for. In the background of Life with Kelly, it's about getting those intentions into our everyday practices. So I do hope you're going to practice those as you move forward. So the last thing I will share with you, so January is ended, February is beginning, and now I'm moving into the intention of really making solid my routines and my practices. And so I want to invite you to join me for the Launchpad, which helps you to take your vision board. Most of us have created those, maybe not, and take it and put it into everyday actions so that by the end of the year, you'll see and realize the things that you were hoping for, dreaming about become a reality. So that's our invitation to you today. Join us for the Launchpad. You'll see it in our show notes. And we're so glad that you came to sit with us, to talk, to have a cup of tea or coffee, and to share these intentional moments. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us today for our first episode of The Background of Life with Kelly Ramsey. In today's episode, we created space to delve in and explore what life looks like when we live with intention. We encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how today's topic impacts your intentional living journey. What's one thing you can do today to keep moving towards your intention? Don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. Your feedback is what fuels our journey to partner with others in community and share the stories that add meaning to the canvas of our lives. Until our next episode, I'm Kelly Ramsey, inviting you to continue the joy in your intentional design of everyday moments. It's like sharing a cup of tea with your favorite person in a great space. See you next time. This episode of In the Background of Life with Kelly Ramsey is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.